Oh, we just barely got off the train. Here it goes again. Okay, we're in Bologna. I'm with my little girlfriend and baggage handler. We got some bags. Okay, we're here in Bologna. This is the main square. A couple of big churches here. Just me and my little American girlfriend, baggage handler. Look at that clock. The hands must be huge on that thing.
Works of art that you
This
find
is
here are especially
formerly part of the university. It's still part of the university, but they've used the bulk of the university. They moved it outside of town. So now this is the library, and there's an anatomical theater here. Maybe we'll get to see that. I know we saw the first one in Stockholm, I think, was where we saw the first anatomical theater. What a beautiful building. So the building dates from the 1500s, and these are the coats of arms of all the families that, of course, were educated here or lived in the area.
Some decades ago.
Did you go to this university?
I studied here, not in this.
This is one of the original markets in the city.
Because of the
Very quaint, very pretty. This is the tallest structure in the city, and it's about
more than 100.
About
Many of them were demolished.
300 feet, about 300
After
feet.
the decision of a
So
committee
about a football field
that
length. The big tower on the left was built by a family, and it leaned more than the Tower of Pisa, so they abandoned it, and they were so embarrassed that they moved away. It now belongs to the city, and obviously they fixed it. So we're here in part of the university. They have some graduations today, and this is one of the little squares. We came here, the guide brought us here, so we could use the free faculty restrooms. So this is one of the streets where brothels were allowed until about World War II in Italy, and they would have their red candle or red light, which signified that they were open and that they had availability, or the red light might be out, which would indicate that they weren't open or didn't have any availability. The church referred to them as tolerance houses because they tolerated them and allowed them to exist until after World War II, and then I guess they kind of cracked down on them. Here's my little American girlfriend. Organ recital going on in here. It's really beautiful. Okay, so we've discovered our second anatomical theater here in Bologna, Italy, and it's smaller than the one we saw, I think, in Stockholm. It's not as deep with the big sides. She said that the teacher would stay in the top part up there, and then this teacher had an assistant. They used a stick to point down here where they were doing the work, where the students did the work, and the teacher never came down here and did the work. And the students were responsible for finding their own corpses. So they would typically go to all the jails and judges, and they tried to get executions accelerated, and they were always looking for more corpses. I don't know that I heard her say the years that this was begun. I know the one in Stockholm said that they were the first anatomical theater, and this one does look newer. The other one was very crude. So it's pretty interesting. One interesting thing that she said about this anatomical theater, which was different than the one in Stockholm, was that the public was invited, and so sometimes it was more or less almost a spectacle. Unlike the one in Stockholm, which was part of the school and it was only for students, was the impression we got, and for higher learning purposes, this one could be considered even entertaining. Wow, what a beautiful church. It's not nearly as big as many we've seen, but wow, it's really ornate. Okay, we're in the main square. The State Farm wanted to come see Neptune's genitals. It's the 6th longest church in Europe. Since we just came from the Vatican, we weren't that impressed. They're redoing the front of it.